Hey everybody, Nev here. And ever since I finished writing the book with my dear friends and colleagues, I wanted to interview them and find out why actually they decided to jump in on a book writing project with a group of total strangers, let's be honest. But by the time we were done, we became fast friends, great colleagues, co-authors, even partners. And I wanted to jump in and interview Victoria Mantzoros, who focuses on the health concepts within this book, to find out a bit more what she does, how she thinks, and above all, some of the secrets that are actually in the book. So stay tuned. And welcome to another episode of the Nev Show. My name is Nev Kraguljevic, and I am beyond excited for you to be here. And I'm beyond excited to introduce you to my new friend, my colleague in many ways, my partner in many ways, and absolutely a co-author of the latest and greatest book called The Pivot Point System. Everybody, please welcome Victoria. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nev. Thank you. And hello to everyone.
So, thank you very much for doing this. We've full disclosure, Victoria and I tried to do this, and technology didn't play along last time. So we're hoping this time around is going to play along. We're going to get the full interview, be able to see and hear each other, and have an awesome video for you. But Victoria, if you don't mind, just briefly tell the audience of, what is it that you do? What is it that you specialize in? And then we'll start diving deeper.
Yeah. So I'm an empowerment and wellness coach, and I help go-getters achieve more confidence and health with ease.
So how did you get started into this kind of fitness and wellness category?
I started out, when I was younger, really having struggles with my own health, figuring out how do you prioritize it amongst having many goals. And I kept running into this wall where I could achieve goals that I could do right in work, great in classes and studies, but when it came to taking care of myself, I just couldn't seem to bridge that gap. And so that led me into, getting more training, more schooling, and eventually getting into personal training, which I found didn't cover the essence of what it takes to help someone go to myself, to be able to actually learn how to do that, of making my health a priority in a way that is sustainable and effective. So that led to me, after years of doing that, to leaving the corporate gyms, getting more trainings, and then eventually starting my own coaching business where I am able to get to the root of what gets in the way of people achieving that, and then figure out ways of, whether that's with nutrition or exercise or mindset or whatever they're needing in order to be able to create results and then sustain it for good.
Fantastic. I love talking to entrepreneurs, investors, and people, kind of movers and shakers doing something different. And I always find that folks typically have a problem of their own they're trying to solve. And once they figure it out, they either get tapped on the shoulder multiple times and a little light bulb goes in their head, be like, wait a minute, I could potentially help people. And it sounds like your story is exactly that way.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was working as a trainer, I was also training trainers. And I was known as, what would they call me? Like, the other managers say I was like the most woo of them, or like just kind of like knocking on me in a way, because I would have a really comprehensive approach to my trainers. And this is how you should approach health and approach the conversation. And they ended up having one of the best numbers out of the other groups that were, working with other managers. So that was not only validating, but then their clients are getting better results. And then it was through that where I was seeing, like, oh, just the way corporate gyms are set up, there's just not room to really have the type of structure you need in order to be able to get those results. And at least the results that I needed before I got into all of that.
So it sounds like your approach is a bit different from other folks. If you don't mind sharing with me and with the audience of what differs? Like what's that sort of secret sauce? And you might not want to give all of it, but maybe some of it. What is the secret
Yeah.
sauce that you have that is really helping you and helping your clients that maybe the guy down the local gym just doesn't have?
Yeah, well, the secret sauce is really in doing the inner work. As in, it's the simplest way I can explain it is I'm sure you've talked to any of your friends or people that you know, if you say, oh, how's your health going? Everyone can name off 3, 5, 7 things that they could be doing more of, wish they were doing. People don't have a shortage of knowing what to do. It's how do you get yourself able to do it? And I think many people go to trainers because they think that accountability is going to be the reason that they do it. And it does. But what happens when they stop going to the trainer? Do they keep on that same path? Do they end up needing a trainer later on because they fell off? And just seeing that cycle, it means we need to approach it differently. So the secret sauce is really getting clear of what's going on internally that's getting in the way in the first place. Is it that are your goals even yours? Do you know how to tell if they are yours? And if they're not, how do you let them go and make and find ones that are more, aligned with where you're going in your life and where you want to be going? And really learning how to be more responsive to what you want versus reactive to your schedule and your circumstances, and your stressors and all of that. So of course there's many steps to that, but long and the short of it is when we're fighting against our resistance and we're not actually doing what we want to be doing, and it's not in a way that feels sustainable or in a way that we're of choice, like we take away our ability to really sustain it.
So I absolutely and wholeheartedly agree with you on that. I always, when I approach people talking about money and wealth and all of that stuff, I always say why. I always have this sort of question of, well, why do you want particular thing? And I love what you have said of, are your goals even your goals? Because oftentimes some of our goals and strategies and things have been downloaded onto us by our parents who were very well meaning people, right? Like most parents don't want to harm their children, um, right? So they mean the best. And so, same thing with teachers, and they keep like uploading this stuff. And so, by the time this end product comes in, you think that you are you, but you are not. You're just these reflections and pictures of all these people over the course of how many ever decades we're talking about. And then sometimes we try to live up these very unrealistic expectations of what needs to happen, and when that doesn't happen, we get angry, we get shut down, right? Like we do this stuff, and sometimes we fail to pause and even question the, am I even on the right path? Like, am I even doing the right thing? We just end up running faster, and so instead of going somewhere, we just end up staying on that hamster wheel, but just moving faster and being more exhausted at the end of it, seeing no
Mhm.
results whatsoever.
Yeah. And if you're not getting results to things that you think that you want, then how do you maintain the gumption to keep going? And then we run out, and then creates a cycle of you're on again, you're off again, cycling, whether that's in your money or your wealth or your health or, anything that we keep running into that wall with.
Yeah, absolutely. So you decided to join in on this book project, which is the
Yeah.
main reason we decided to sort of sit down and chat about it. And what I really love about the book is that it focuses on the five, not fee, five key components. That is really the mindset, which we actually even talked about, even though that's not our part of the book at all. But the cool piece is that all of us shared that within the group. Then we talk about health and wellness. We talk about the image. We talk about the career. And then we talk about money and wealth. And of course, you come in as the health and wellness expert in the book. And so my question is, why did you decide to join the group? Why did you even decide to undergo a pain of writing a book? Because it's not an easy process.
Yeah, you're right. A big reason I wanted to join in is because the people that you guys are talking to are really similar to the people that I talk to so often in my day-to-day life with my clients. And people that I work best with are the ones that are driven and they know what they want and they have these big visions. And it's knowing what they want isn't the issue. It's how do you get there? And so to have a team of people where it's geared towards people who want to go places and are just ready to figure out what are the main pivots that you need in order to get there. And so being able to be a part of that and with health being such an important component of success, being able to share this is critical. And I often find that with people that are driven, people that have big visions, so many people tend to look up to them that they don't realize that those people need support too, just as much support and encouragement and inspiration. And to be able to have however many pages, right, to be able to contribute to people being seen and heard and understood while they're out there living their dreams and creating them is powerful. And to be able to do that with all of you, more the merrier, right? One person's great, but to have all of us together, that's such a gift, especially as people, if they don't have a lot of time or they're busy,
Yep.
go hunt down 5 different books. No, you bring it all to them in one.
Yep.
Good quality information, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that team? That's incredible.
I agree with you. It was a fantastic group to work with, and the amount of information that is in the book is really fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And oh, there's Charles. Hello, Charles. And what I really liked about it is that you're right. It's not sort of a most books focus on just one thing, but for most of us, we're not one thing. We have desires to fix all these different things and improve different things and shift different things. And so what I like about the book is that it's not complex, it's not complicated, it's simple things. And oftentimes, and I don't know if you agree with this, and maybe you see that in your clients, it's not even about having to make this giant change. It's minor tweaks, minor pivots, minor shifts that are sometimes even less than 1% that make the biggest difference in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. That's such a great way to explain it. I think so often, especially in the health conversation, people think health looks like this thing that's perfect and regimented and all these things outside of themselves. And really, small changes over time, that is the key to success. That figuring out what's a small thing you can do today and how can you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And then doing that, before you know it, you have habits upon habits stacked upon themselves and you don't even have to think about it anymore. And I think that's the key to being able to be sustainable, is exactly what you're talking about, is small steps, small changes over time.
Obviously, we want folks to get the book, so we don't want to go into all of the details and tell them every single juicy thing that is in there.
Mhm.
But I was hoping that you'd be willing to share maybe one or two things that are in the book that you believe that audience watching this or listening to this would really find incredibly important.
Two things come to my mind immediately. And the first one is that from reading my section, you're going to walk away with an understanding of how to think about health. And learning how to think about it and learning how to craft it in a way that works for you, you become empowered to be able to be the driver of not only what habits you want to implement, but how to implement them. So, of course, I talk about nutrition and exercise and some elements of routines, and those are all very, very important. And knowing how to read through that and figure out what's the best for you is a skill that'll be helpful in just in everything.
I like that a lot. One thing I remember, because when we were writing a book, right, everybody wrote the piece, and then we had to read everybody's piece, and then everybody had to edit everybody's everything, and then right, so it was a lot of back and forth. And I remember clearly that there was one very specific thing that every co-author commented on your section, and it had to do with mushrooms. So,
Yeah,
do you care to tell us what is
yeah,
the big secret about mushrooms and why did everybody go so crazy about them?
yeah. Yeah, mushrooms. You want to have them as often as possible, every day, as much as you want. And that was really surprising to people. It's like, why mushrooms? We know about greens, but like, why this fungus that comes out of the ground?
Yeah.
It says it has tremendous health benefits. It's great. It has great anti-inflammatory properties. It has anti-cancerous and anti-tumorous properties to it as well. And to be able to have all of that in such a small little thing that you can have, in anything. You can cook it, you can microwave it. I don't recommend that, but you could, and and eating it helps supercharge your immune system, especially because your immune system lives in your gut. And so anything that you can do that will supercharge your gut, that will supercharge your body's ability to live and operate well, amazing. And mushrooms are amazing for that.
One thing, I don't know if you know this, but I've learned this from a friend of mine who is a naturopath, and
Mhm.
mushrooms are excellent. Obviously, for all of those reasons, and of course, there's different mushrooms, and some of them help with like brain power and thinking and like all of that stuff. And now, nootropics are like all the rage these days. And I'm like, these existed for years. We just call them by a different name. We just said
Yeah.
fungi. But one thing that is really cool about mushrooms is for folks that are dealing with some hormonal challenges, and if you are running into night sweats, mushrooms are actually have been proven as a healthy, easy way without harm or side effects to help completely, to reduce and completely potentially eliminate night sweats.
Huh.
So yeah, so that was something that I learned because I was trying to fix my own problem and say just eat mushrooms. I'm like, all right, done. And yeah, like fix the problem almost overnight.
Overnight. Oh
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, so there you go. Eat more mushrooms and
Yeah,
don't
all the time.
microwave them. It kills all the good stuff. So one of the things that I also wanted to talk about is that, when we're writing this book and talking as authors and going through back and forth, all of the authors wanted to sort of offer a bonus.
Mm.
And that was something that was clear from the beginning that folks wanted to do. And my understanding is that you as well decided to participate in the bonus section.
I did. Yes.
Yes. So one of the things that we are asking for folks to do is if you don't have a book, book will be going live fairly shortly on Amazon. But of course, we're also going to have our own webpage where you can go and register your book. So once you get the book, you can register your book, and when you register, you will be given access into these bonus gifts. And bonus gifts range anywhere from additional quizzes to help you sort of think through things, to additional books, to additional like PDF forms.
Hmm.
Some people are offering 15, 20 minutes personal coaching. So there's all these different things that you're able to get. And the simplest way to do it is really just register the book once you have it. Once you have it in your hands, you can do Kindle version, you can do a physical version. If you're a kind of person like me, I like physical books, clearly. And they're just pain in the butt when you need to move, but I love having physical books.
Hmm.
But regardless of which way you get it, do register the book, and all of the author's information, including Victoria's, is in the book. The really cool piece that we didn't even talk about right now, Victoria, and I'd like to go into it, is that just about every author, aside from putting our website where you can find us and kind of how to connect with us, um, was doing some sort of like secret links and codes and all these like cool things. And I saw you do some of that stuff, and
Hmm.
I wanted to sort of ask of like, why did I know why I decided to do it, but why did you decide to do something like that?
Yeah, so I have a special link that through the book you'll be able to have a special page that only people with that link can get to. And if you're going to go through the book, especially the wellness section, you're going to get inspired. You're going to see all these things. I talk a lot about meal planning and prepping and bringing these things to life in really practical ways. And what I found is, in order for you to really bring those things to life, if you had some tools, some templates, some things that were really user friendly that you were able to print out, use on your own to make the transition into whatever you've been doing to whatever you want to be doing easier, well, that's invaluable. And especially as people are reading the book, they're committed. They're committed to the growth. And for people that are committed, all about giving them all the tools that they can in order to succeed as easily and quickly as possible. So this is an extra bonus for that, to not only celebrate them, but help.
I really admire the work that you do and what you do for folks and the society. I've met a lot of different people in my lifetime, like most of us have, and it's a lot of the folks that are just about in every industry. And the health and wellness industry is no different, unfortunately. Vast majority of folks out there that you run into and see are more focused on themselves and what's in it for them, as opposed to being focused on the client and what's in the best interest of the client. And what I love about you is that while you don't necessarily put yourself back and you don't demean who you are and what you stand for, your heart is always to how can I benefit them? How can I support them? How can I do more for them? And I saw that through your writing. I saw that through your contribution to the group. It was never too hard for you to find extra time, even when you were traveling. It was never hard for you to pick up a phone and coach an author when they get stuck with something, to give feedback, to do extra work. And to me, that shows a lot of heart, a lot of ethic, a lot of, just a person that is wholeheartedly saying, I'm a part of this beautiful planet, and in order for me to make it better, I always have to contribute. And so I really want to take this opportunity to publicly thank you for all the work that you are doing, your contribution to the world. I'm sure that your clients feel the same way. I didn't talk to them. Maybe I could. I start stalking you and start calling, but that would be creepy. I don't want to do that. But I know from in talking with all of the different authors, I know that everybody feels that way, and so I'm beyond honored to have my name next to yours on a book. So thank you.
Oh, oh, wow, Nev, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I really mean that from the heart. Don't worry, folks. I will charge her later for what I just said. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So there you go. I can't stay serious for longer than 2 seconds. Anyways, well, thank you all for watching. Make sure that you go and check out the pivotpointsystem.com. We're actually running a short-term promotion. In exchange for your email, you actually get a free download copy of the book. And that's before we even go live. So you get this super early bird, and you don't have to pay for it because the book is going to be offered on Amazon for anywhere between 20 to 30 bucks. So, and when I say free, I mean free, like no shipping, no handling, nothing. Like it's literally your email, press send, and book is yours. So the pivotpointsystem.com, and then once you get it, you register it, and then you get additional stuff and discounts. So Victoria, thank you so much for being on our show. It was a true pleasure, and I hope that we can do this again, and maybe we can start geeking out into some easy poses or stretches or something we'll call it a 10-second workout or something crazy like that.
Yeah, love it. Let's do it.
So, all right, y'all. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. So we had a great practice run the first time around. So you were like, I know the questions already. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nev. Hi, little kitty.
Hold on. The cat is attacking the computer.
To demystify some of the just plate like this, you're set. Is the video all right?
It froze again, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, all right. Anyways, tell us about the hacks. This is gonna make amazing bloopers. Let me just tell you that. So.